The dinner rush had just started at Riverside Grill, one of the most popular restaurants in downtown Chicago. The dining room was packed, waiters rushed between tables, and the kitchen buzzed with the sound of sizzling pans. To the customers, everything looked perfect. But the owner of the restaurant had a growing suspicion that something behind the scenes wasn't right. So that night, the owner walked into his own restaurant, disguised as a new employee. Daniel Carter built Riverside Grill from the ground up. 10 years earlier, it had been a small family restaurant with only 6 tables. Now it was one of the busiest spots in the city. But recently Daniel had received disturbing messages. Customers complaining about rude staff, employees quitting suddenly, and one anonymous email that simply said, "If you saw what happens in the kitchen, you wouldn't believe it." Daniel needed the truth. So he put on a plain black uniform, a baseball cap, and a name tag that read, "David Training Staff." Even the restaurant manager didn't recognize him. To everyone else, he was just another new hire starting his first night. At first, everything seemed normal. Most of the staff were friendly and professional. But one waiter stood out immediately. His name was Kyle. Kyle was loud, arrogant, and clearly didn't like dealing with customers. At one table, a couple politely asked if their steak could be cooked a little longer. Kyle rolled his eyes. "People like this think they're food critics," he muttered while walking back to the kitchen. Daniel watched quietly. That attitude alone was bad enough. But what happened next was far worse. In the kitchen, Kyle placed the steak back on the counter. The chef looked confused. "Why is this back? Customer wants it cooked more," Kyle said sarcastically. Then Kyle looked around the kitchen. Most of the staff were busy. Daniel stood near the sink pretending to clean plates. Kyle leaned over the plate, and before placing the steak back on the grill, he spit on it. Daniel froze. For a moment, he thought he imagined it. But Kyle laughed quietly. "That'll make it extra juicy." Daniel's stomach turned. Customers trusted this restaurant with their food. Families ate here. Children ate here. And this waiter thought it was a joke. Daniel pulled out his phone quietly and recorded the moment. Throughout the night, Kyle's behavior continued. He mocked customers, ignored orders, and even bragged to another waiter. "These people pay $40 for steak," Kyle laughed. "They deserve a little surprise." Daniel had heard enough, but he wanted to see just how far the problem went. So he waited until the busiest moment of the night. Around 9 p.m., the restaurant was full. Every table was occupied. Kyle approached a customer's table carrying the steak. The same steak. Daniel stepped forward. "Hold on," he said. Kyle frowned. "What?" Daniel pointed to the plate. "That food shouldn't go to the customer." Kyle scoffed. "And who are you to tell me that?" The nearby tables began to notice the tension. "I saw what you did in the kitchen," Daniel said calmly. Kyle laughed. "Yeah? Prove it." Daniel reached into his pocket and pulled out his phone. He pressed play. The video showed everything. Kyle leaning over the steak, spitting on it, and laughing. The entire room went silent. Kyle's smile disappeared instantly. "Delete that," he whispered. Daniel shook his head slowly. Then he removed his cap. "My name isn't David," he said. Kyle blinked. "What?" Daniel looked around the restaurant. "My name is Daniel Carter, the owner of Riverside Grill." Gasps spread across the dining room. The manager rushed over, confused. Kyle's face turned pale. "You're the owner?" Daniel nodded. "And tonight I saw exactly how you treat our customers." Kyle tried to speak. "It was a joke." Daniel interrupted him. "Spitting in someone's food is not a joke." The restaurant was completely silent. Daniel looked at Kyle calmly and said the words everyone would remember. "You're fired." The manager immediately escorted Kyle out of the restaurant. Daniel personally apologized to the customers at the table. Their meal was replaced, and the entire table was comped. But Daniel didn't stop there. That same week, he installed new kitchen cameras and implemented stricter employee training. Because Daniel understood something important. A restaurant isn't judged by its menu. It's judged by the people who serve the food. And if even one employee breaks that trust, can destroy everything. Before leaving that night, Daniel gathered the staff. Customers trust us, he said. They trust the food we serve them. He looked around the room. And trust is something you earn every single day. The employees nodded, because after what they witnessed that night, they knew something for sure. Sometimes the person standing quietly in the kitchen isn't just another employee. Sometimes it's the owner watching everything.